Next on the news, prayers in New Orleans as the community mourns the lives of the 14 people killed in the New Year's terror attack. The House has elected a new speaker. The votes come as the Pope sends a message to politicians around the world. One musician is hoping to become an instrument for God, boosting the power of prayer with her viola.
Nobody knows who wrote the prayer to St. Francis, but for recording artist Karen Olson, it's not anonymous anymore. I'm Jessica Easthope. That story's coming up.
Plus, starting to put away the Christmas decor. Well, one farm in Massachusetts has discovered a creative and eco-friendly way of getting rid of the tree. I'm Christine Persichetti. Currents News starts right now. For the first time since the deadly terrorist attack on Bourbon Street in New Orleans, the famed tourist attraction is back open. And a game that brought thousands of people to the city was finally underway Thursday night. But the excitement was peppered with heartache as Notre Dame and Georgia fans paid tribute to those lost.
To honor and remember those affected by the horrific acts of violence that occurred yesterday morning.
A moment of silence during a much-anticipated game. Notre Dame and Georgia fans taking the time to remember those lost after a driver intentionally rammed through a crowd on Bourbon Street early Wednesday morning. These college fans were in New Orleans for the Sugar Bowl, a game that had to be postponed due to the violence. Meantime, as Bourbon Street reopens, 14 crosses are placed to represent the victims. More is coming out now about their stories. St. Thomas More Catholic High School graduate Martin Beck Jr., also known as Tiger, was a standout athlete. He lived in New York City and was visiting Louisiana for the holidays. Another Catholic school alum, 21-year-old Hubert Gothrow, graduated from Archbishop Shaw High School in 2021. The school praying for the repose of his soul, along with his family and friends, in a post on Facebook. Kathy and Lou Tenedorio, whose son Matthew was killed, say he had the biggest heart. They also say they begged him not to go to New Orleans that night.
Please don't go. It's dangerous over there. It's not the way it used to be. There's a lot of crime. Please stay here. And he's like, don't worry about it, Dad. I love you. And we hugged and he left.
Temporary barriers have been put into place to prevent vehicle traffic along Bourbon Street, but some believe this attack could change how all large crowd events will be handled moving forward.
Everything changed after 9/11. I think you're going to see everything change about large-scale events.
Ahead of the game, Notre Dame fans gathered for a mass at a New Orleans hotel ballroom where they prayed for those killed. 5 first responders who risked their lives to save students during an active shooting received the Medal of Valor on Friday. On March 27, 2023, the recipients responded to an active shooter situation at Covenant School in Nashville. They ran toward the gunfire to take the shooter down, a former student of the Presbyterian school who killed 6 people that day. The medal is the nation's highest award for valor by a public safety officer. Over on Capitol Hill, members of the House voted for a speaker on Friday. After initially coming up short, Louisiana Representative Mike Johnson won after 2 GOP holdouts decided to change their votes, and he was elected with 218 votes. While Johnson will keep his gavel, he'll face a challenge in Congress with the narrowest House majority in nearly 100 years. Pope Francis is giving politicians advice for the new year. The Holy Father asking all Christian world leaders to practice forgiveness and help families in need.
Coraggio pertanto i governanti dei paesi di tradizione cristiana a dare buon esempio, cancellando o riducendo quanto più possibile i debiti dei paesi più poveri.
The Pope went on to reiterate his plea for world peace and said there are no winners in war. Everyone loses. The pontiff is also reminding pilgrims making their way to Rome for the Holy Year to keep in mind the goal of encountering and listening to Jesus. In a talk at the Vatican with young members of the Italian Union of the Blind and Visually Impaired, he says the theme of the Holy Year, Pilgrims of Hope, speaks to how pilgrims are always on the move but have a destination, a holy place meant to motivate the journey. He went on to encourage the young people to continue to follow Christ, and they will become little signs of hope for those they meet. Whether you are going on a pilgrimage to Rome for the Jubilee or on a journey in life, one artist is giving you a soundtrack to guide you. Karen Olson hopes a track from her new album will bring a new voice to an old prayer and bring those looking for God closer to him. Currents News' Jessica Easthope has the story from Hackettstown, New Jersey.
In her home studio in northwestern New Jersey, Karen Olson has found peace. It's not because of the quiet of her office or the nature she's surrounded by. It's her connection to God.
I aspire to be living as a prayer. It's kind of when I breathe, I really, really feel very connected to God.
Karen's illustrious career as a violist spans decades. Divine Echoes is her 9th album, and on it is a track based on the prayer to St. Francis, words she's related to since childhood.
We spent our summers at this gorgeous lake in northern Minnesota, Lake Vermilion. So for me, St. Francis represents God and nature and spirituality, and then we're instruments of peace, and we're instruments, because I really believe in the vibrations and the power of music.
The song is called Pilgrimage Prayer. Karen says her hope is to bring a new voice to the prayer and to share that voice with as many as possible. Karen's own pilgrimage has led her to stages around the world, using her God-given talents to touch audiences and reaffirm her own faith. This album, and specifically Pilgrimage Prayer, has shaped a mission to evangelize.
That you'll be born to eternal life. I wanted people to hear that line that maybe would never hear it any other way.
The prayer, written anonymously in the voice of St. Francis, calls upon God. Make me an instrument of your peace.
So here we all are, you listening, me creating. We are all creators of this prayer because we can make it a part of our lives.
She's given Pilgrimage Prayer to the world. And as the prayer says, for it is in giving that one receives. In Hackettstown, New Jersey, Jessica Easthope, Currents News.
You can hear Karen's album, once again called Divine Echoes, on Spotify and Apple Music. You might need some music while you do your Christmas cleanup. I know I do. A Massachusetts farm has found an eco-friendly way to get rid of discarded trees. They're turning them into goat food. Channel Homestead has been using the animals for cleanup since 2018. And while the goats get a tasty treat, the trees also naturally deworm them. All visitors have to do is drop off their trees at the front gate, without ornaments, of course. For Catholics, the Christmas season officially ends on Monday with the Epiphany. So if you want to do a little bit more giving before the season wraps up, consider donating to the Tablet's Bright Christmas Fund. Every year, the paper pledges to make the holiday season bright for kids across the diocese. So let's see how much they've raised. Drum roll, please. The paper has currently raised a little more than $82,000 for the Bright Christmas Fund, but they still need your help. Just go online to thetablet.org/brightchristmas. You can also make a check out to Bright Christmas and mail it to 856 Pacific Street in Brooklyn. The zip code there, 11238. And that is this Currents News Update. I'm Christine Persichetti. Thank you for joining us, because we are putting your faith in the news. Hope to see you again next time.